Well, howdy, humans. What's going on? Well, basically the title already says what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to fix the stupid fuel leaking problem. Hopefully when this video gets out, the snow is gone. But, so for those who don't know what the problem is, actually I tried to fix it during the summertime because I was sure the problem is related to hydraulic fluid getting into the engine sump. And it was true to a degree because the smaller pump, it had the seals on it. Those seals were completely shot, they were rock hard, cracked all over the place. So hydraulic fluid did get into the crankcase, but actually the main issue is still the fuel. The fuel is getting into the crankcase, and actually quite a lot of it. So last time I changed the the oil on the big block, it was in I think August last year. What is that, like there's like 6 or 7 months almost. And during that time 15 liters of diesel had leaked into the crankcase. I replaced the oil out just like last week. I needed to move the machine and I realized, hey, the oil dipstick is insanely high. So I drained all the fluids, put new oil in it, just so I could move the machine 10 meters. Did not want to run it with that huge amount of fuel in the crankcase. That can damage the engine, man. I don't want to take any risks of that. This motor is practically new. I mean, it only has 800 hours on it. So I don't want to take any chances of damaging this engine. But yeah, in 6 months, 15 liters of diesel had leaked into the crankcase. And hopefully by the end of this video, we'll figure out the issue. Now, I've been actually diving into this topic a bit. I did ask around some Russian tractor forums in Estonia what the issue might be, and also consulted some old mechanics, Soviet tractor mechanics, I mean. And all of them pretty much pointed to the same problem. The most likely the problem is in the lift pump, which is that thing over there. So that's an old style lift pump apparently, and I think Cat D6 has the exact same fuel pump on it. That little turd. Now there is also a possibility that the high pressure side, the high pressure fuel pump, is the culprit, but it's highly unlikely. I mean, it's possible. I mean, guy told me that there is a gasket or a special seal behind this compartment somewhere, and if this thing leaks excessively, by the way, by design these things are meant to leak internally, but not a lot. But if it leaks excessively, then the fuel can get into the fuel tower, and from there the shaft just goes to a bunch of gears where it can access the crankcase. Right now, from here, I can't really figure out where exactly the fuel can get into the crankcase from there, because it's kind of sits at the most bottom point. So how can the fuel travel? If it's leaking there, how can it travel upwards and then there? So that's kind of beyond my expertise to figure out. But yeah, most of them did tell me that the issue most likely is inside the lift pump. There's bunch of seals and stuff there, so maybe some of them is leaking. Oh, and by the way, it's supposed to have like a weep hole somewhere, and if that weep hole is clogged, then the fuel has nowhere else to go but the crankcase. So hoping that's the main culprit in this situation. I mean, if it even leaks like 15 liters during a course of 7 months, I don't really care about that. As long as that fuel does not end up in the crankcase. I mean, it can end up wherever, oil the frame, for example, but not in the crankcase. So before we dive into the high pressure side, now let's try to rule out the possible culprit down there. Basically, we just need to take the whole unit off that thing, and well, basically just rebuild it, most likely. Maybe even new gears in there, which kind of depends how they're doing. So I'm gonna go consult my Soviet Bible, and then let's get to work. Nope. Kurat, mitä vitsinä? It needs to be big. Janmar, nope. Oh, there you go. Be right back. This is gonna take forever. Fuel, vergometer. Repair of the fuel priming pump. Q4. Fuel priming pump. This is what I need. Oh no. This is the priming pump. I need the lift pump. Oh yeah. I don't have a priming pump. No. Now we're at the clutch. I told you this is gonna take forever. You know, this really sucks. I kind of went through the entire book and I couldn't really find any information on the lift pump, which is that thing over there. Maybe I overlooked something, but 700 pages here. Got detailed instructions on the vergometer, the high pressure fuel pump, the fuel tower racks and pulleys and assemblies like that, and also the priming pump, which doesn't exist on my machine. Nothing on the lift pump though. So I think let's just kind of YOLO it. Let's go start undoing stuff until it comes off. Access is kind of sucky. By the way, there's like a bolt back there. I'm sure if you can see. But you know, once I opened that bolt up, fuel started to spew out of it. Now I would like to know what that is for, and I was hoping to find it out once I find it in the Bible, but couldn't find it sadly. Maybe we'll figure it out later. Because right now I'm not even sure where the weep hole needs to be. Nothing else connected. Just gotta do, I think, 2 bolts. One is there, other is there. Then technically it should come out, but there's a bunch of more bolts down there. Total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I think only 2 of them hold it to that part. Access granted. Technically it should come off. There's 4 more bolts down there, but I don't think they're different. I think they're not for mounting. I think they're like this, the same deal. They just hold the bump housing together. And it's just different size as well. Yeah, I'm gonna open up one of them just to. If it's like a small bolt, then it's not the thing. Yeah. Maybe you guys can see what's going on there. A lot of bolts down there. I'm gonna try the back one. Yeah, that's a short one as well. Maybe somebody put some super glue into the Soviet cancer gasket. Maybe. There's a nut there. See? Right there. Behind the corner. What a sneaky bastard, man. By the way, that thing just decided to walk off. Guess I can only use this tool to unlock stuff now. There should be one more. The access is just horrible. Yeah, I think this thing doesn't fit there. It's gonna take me like 5 hours trying to undo that nut. I can't even see anything. No, I don't think I can turn it. Might need a special tool. Can't get that there. Maybe Knipex Junior. What? Thing went on. Nice. So technically, this should work. Yes. Yes, Steve. What? What is that? What is that wheel? Oh man, hydraulic line in the way. Finally. Okay. Oh, by the way, I immediately noticed the problem. There is no... It's like free spinning. There is absolutely no tension on the shaft. This is a... There's a gear bump in here and... Man, it's just... It's totally worn out. Also... Look at that. It's not just this top part which is moving. It's actually the entire whatever. The entire assembly is moving up and down, plus left and right. Dude, I think this bump is totally shot. No wonder I had some stalling issues. This thing just couldn't deliver enough fuel to the engine. I mean to the high pressure fuel pump. So yeah, this thing is supposed to pump up the fuel. So the high pressure fuel pump has fuel to work with. And if it's just not doing its job, then that thing will glitch out. Bunch of engine stalling, many other problems. So basically this thing is just completely done for. So maybe it's rebuildable, probably. I mean, all the gaskets, all the seals, they can be replaced. The main issue is the gears themselves. If they're spinning so freely, then the gears have worn out completely. And you know, you can't really rebuild those. You would need to replace them out with new gears. I mean, obviously we're gonna take this thing apart. I'm kinda curious to see what the insides of this thing is. I've never opened any of these things up before, but I assume it's like a standard hydraulic gear pump or something similar. There's these two gears which kind of work together and they pump fluids. At the moment though, I'm kind of curious where the weep hole is. Maybe it's that hole, but I can't be sure at the moment. The thing is that I don't have any schematics of this pump. I haven't been able to locate that stuff. Maybe you guys can help me out with that, but then once we open it up, perhaps it's not necessary. We should be able to figure out what's what. I'm just curious where the weep hole is. Because technically, you know, even if there was a leak somewhere else inside the pump section, this thing should actually catch that leak before it enters the engine. Oh, by the way, the snow is gone. What a mystery. But now let's just imagine if there's a leak here, this compartment leaked, and the two seals which are located there also leaked. Then before the leak going further to the engine side, it would go down there and leak through the weep hole. Then that leak would never reach the actual engine. It would just leak out before it went there. Same can be said for the fuel tower, I believe. If there was a leak somewhere inside the fuel tower, it would just leak out through the weep hole before going to the engine. So everyone, basically, whoever I asked, everyone told me that pump should have a weep hole. Let's try to identify where it's actually at. Okay, so that's the input line, that's the output line. So technically the weep hole should be somewhere here. I can see something there, maybe that's it. Look at that. Let's put some air in there, see what happens. Gonna spew it out everywhere. That's not going anywhere. Okay, not sure. Not sure at the moment. Well, they're the gears. Look at that. That is what is that, like 0.2 maybe 0.3 millimeters. It should be pretty stiff. It shouldn't move. It shouldn't have any free play whatsoever. That thing, this thing is just totally worn out. It will still pump fluids, but like I said, you will have issues. Bunch of problems. I'm still kind of wondering about that hole. It looks like it goes straight to the shaft. It's also coming out from up there. See? Not sure. You guys probably have figured it out by now. I'm just I'm just dumb. Spring! Kõik plahvatas noh. What a wild explosion. Okay, so this is connected to that hole, and this has to be connected to that hole. Correct. This hole. This hole goes there with one. Okay, so fuel enters this compartment, goes to the pump, and then loops back to the same hole. What? Shouldn't it go there? Shouldn't it go there? And it also goes there. It goes there, and it also goes there at the outlet side, and then from here it goes back to the inlet side. Maybe it's like an overflow type of deal when the engine is not needing fuel, it's just pumping itself back. Probably that. Dude. You guys will never learn anything from me, so if you're hoping to find some information how to work on your Soviet equipment, then joke's on you. You will never learn anything from me, because I'm trying to figure stuff out myself. Take this part out next. Ow. Shaft looks good. Nothing wrong there. That's pretty crusty. Also, what is that? Tape? Dude, that is tape. What is tape doing there? Dude, that's tape. That's electrical tape. Look at that. Or maybe not. Oh, no, never mind. It's some type of a rubber. Looked like tape. Yeah, that's some type of a rubber ring. But it's obviously not working because look at that sludge there. That is just... I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to be there. That's some type of a... Oh, look, there's a hole there. It's directly connected to that hole. I'm guessing it's a leak hole. I mean, a weep hole then. From there to there. But, yeah, it's some type of a special seal. Had some type of spring underneath as well. I'm guessing it's some type of like a shaft seal. I'm pretty sure it was leaking and it was not functioning correctly. At the moment, I'm guessing that hole is the whip hole. But maybe something is supposed to be connected up to it. Maybe there's a line that goes back to the fuel tank, for example, perhaps. I don't think it's supposed to be open. Now, at the moment, I don't think I can really do much with this thing. And clearly the gears are just too worn down. Maybe I could try to find parts for it in order to fix it up nicely. And I think it's doable. You know, if I could find the parts for the water pump, which was basically in a similar condition, then I'm pretty sure I can find parts for this as well, even if it took me a couple of months to get them. But you know, I think I have a better idea, honestly. Maybe we should go. I'm gonna go check my spare parts department. Crankshaft? No, we don't need that right now. Yeah, fancy that. We got the entire blade, brand new blade down here. I'm gonna reach for the. I guess the smaller parts are deeper. Oh. Look at that, guys. Look at the brand new pump. And it has good compression. Spare parts department. Look at that. Spare parts department. Always look behind the driver's seat. And guys, this feels good. Yeah, although it's used, the shaft feels strong. There's some definite stiffness there. Also, no end play whatsoever. This thing doesn't move at all. Side movement, very minimal. Actually, maybe nothing. Kind of hard to tell. But compared to that, this is 10 times better. The only thing is missing is the rubber ring from the output port. Oh, look at that. Problem solved. Now, obviously, I did not find this behind the seat. Actually, Steve... Actually, several months ago, Steve told me that he screwed the thing off of a dragline excavator, which uses the same fuel system as Joseph has. Now, that excavator was at the junkyard and it was basically ready to be scrapped up, but Steve saved this part from that excavator. Thanks to the guy, I don't have to dive into the rabbit hole of trying to find parts for that part. Now I'm gonna put that thing back together. Obviously I'm not gonna leave it like this, but most likely I will never need to do anything to it. Because, you know, this seems pretty stiff and nice, and I think this will work fine. I'm not gonna open this up. I'm pretty sure it was on a working machine, so the excavator was in the junkyard for, I think it was a engine problem. I think the engine was seized. Steve told me something about that. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure this part is good, and I'm not really gonna open this one up. Probably gonna mess something up, definitely. The only thing we really need to do is I think I'm just gonna maybe we can make a new gasket for that by using this as base. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Middle one as well. That's a little problem. I do need to take this part out. Maybe I can grab it from this end and I don't need to disassemble the rest of the pump. In order to install that gasket nicely. This thing should come out. No, not you. Completely different story in this this setup. Look at that. Now here we had well, here basically this way maybe. Yeah, I don't think this is the right thing actually. Maybe this is some type of a hack, because that seal looks the same as the one in there. It even has some numbers on it, and this I have no idea what this is. The other end though, this side, this is good. So yeah, I think there's some type of a hack solution going on in the former pump. This looks a lot better. Bring out booze. Wish I had more projects like this. So I could open this bottle more often. Now before I put it back, I'm gonna flush the thing a bit. By the way, I think I figured out what this hole is for. Kinda makes sense. The hole is located directly under that pin, so I'm assuming its only purpose is to hammer out that pin if you need to replace it due to wear. The other hole, this one, is actually the whip hole, because the hole itself is located between two seals. And I remember exactly from the water pump job, it was the same case there as well. There was a whip hole between the two seals. So that makes total sense. Although I'm not sure if you're supposed to leave it open or it drains somewhere, maybe back to the fuel tank. I'm not really sure about that. Võib-olla peab see sügavamal olema. Actually guys, I'm gonna quickly check one thing. I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't see the hole from here. It's supposed to be somewhere here. I think that seal is too high. There we go. Yeah. Okay. At least I know that's cleared, so I don't have to worry about that. But let's go draw this new part back at the machine. Don't drop this mother. Make sure I don't forget about that thing. Little butt plug. Oh, the rubber ring as well. Make sure you don't miss this. It would be great if someone turned the engine while I try to push this thing in. That would be so useful at the moment. But yeah. thing's shorter. I mean longer. No, minä sisään. I think that kind of settles that problem. But dude, I don't think it's gonna solve my problem though. Wait a minute. Actually, we have to think this through. Maybe that was the problem. Let's go do some math. Okay, so this was the engine side. Fuel was here. Probably gonna leak through that. From there. Then we had this piece of garbage. Oh, the other way around, this way. This piece of diaper was there. And then we had this thing here. But the seal is not for this area, it's actually for this area. Dude, I think this was the problem. We need to put it on paper though. Didn't find any paper, but we got that thing. Okay, so basically we have the bump right there. So let's just draw. Got the shaft in the middle. Bunch of gears on this side. Make it a bit longer. Ignore that part. We got that gear in the front, which is the drive gear. There's actually two gears on this side. So do another gear here, and fuel past this area, like so. Not correct, I know, but I assume you get the picture. Now the shaft seal, which is that diaper over there, is supposed to seal off fuel coming from that direction. Correct? I assume. Then we have this thing, which is supposed to seal off fuel leaking through here. Also correct, right? But there is like nothing in this area, so this thing sits somewhere here. That seal is actually in there. And gear thing is... sorry guys. I am sorry guys. I told you I'm not good at this. But the gear thing is there. Engine... over there. Over there. Stuff not important. So because this diaper, which is this thing, was looking like this. I mean, this thing was completely leaking fuel through, so it was basically this area had no seal. So fuel came from there and leaked through there right to the engine. Guys, does that make sense? I think that makes perfect sense. And it's supposed to have that weep hole on this location basically, so the fuel could escape the system. But because that weep hole was literally blocked off with a nut, it could not use this pathway to escape, so it just went to the engine. I mean, it bypassed that seal because it doesn't seal this area. It only seals this area. So the fuel just leaked through this gap. I mean, obviously, there's no seal here whatsoever. So fuel will leak through this area, no problem. I mean, 15 liters for half a year. Not much, but still, with time, it will leak. So, I think problem solved now. But the real question here is, why was the weep hole blocked up? I think it's because it's just excessively leaked through that weep hole. So the previous owner maybe was like, oh man, I'm losing so much fuel through that thing. I don't know what it is. So I'm just gonna plug it up. Yeah, problem solved. Let's sell the machine. Or something like that. Oh, by the way, I was the guy who bought it. Yeah. Maybe here. Fuel is going somewhere. We already have fuel at the lift pump, but I don't see anything coming out of the weep hole at the moment. So that's actually very good. Oh, there we go. The entire fuel system is now full of fuel. Now I'm gonna put some pressure into the system. It's gonna keep pumping until I can't pump anymore. Okay. Maxed out. So the fuel system is fully pressurized at the moment, and there's nothing coming out of the weep hole. That is very good. I guess this was the problem. I can't confirm it just yet, but I think this was the issue. Yeah, looks good. What do you guys think? I think this was the issue, personally. Couldn't figure it out at the beginning. Now it kind of makes total sense. I mean, fuel just leaked through the shaft seal, and because that hole was blocked off, it had nowhere else to go. So this area is just drained full of fuel and just went to the engine. It had nowhere else to go. I'm guessing the previous owner knew about this problem, and maybe that's part why he sold me the machine, because it had this little problem. But I think he did not really dive into the issue that much. Very simple problem overall. Just a simple seal, a shaft seal inside there. But in my case, the gears were also busted. So a new pump was definitely the way to go. Extremely grateful for Steve for finding that part for me. I mean, if he did not do that, then myself, I probably would have tried to rebuild this thing. If I didn't have the new pump. Basically it just needed 2 new parts, a set of new gears, and a new seal. Well, not this typer, the one in there. There's a number there as well, like 46565, but nothing else to go on. I'm guessing it's the same inside there as well. Well, I just need 2 parts to rebuild this pump. So maybe I will ask my KBG contacts. Maybe they can find the parts for me. Although I probably will not ever need it. This is the type of thing that you replace maybe once per 20 years. But you know, I'm still gonna ask. But before we go a bit of joyriding, that weep hole. So, which is over there. I don't think it's supposed to be open like it is. I'm pretty sure something is supposed to bolt in there. Maybe a return line or something like that that feeds back to the fuel tank perhaps. And I don't want it I don't want it to be open like it is right now, because it has like a direct line to a spinning shaft, and I'm pretty sure dust and crap like that will get in there if I start working with the machine, pushing dirt and stuff like that. And that with time will destroy the shaft or the seals in the new pump, definitely. So I'm just gonna make like a cover for it, but well, basically like a breather gap for differentials and gearboxes. So the fuel, if it leaked, it can get out, but minimize the dust and stuff going in. It's M10. Some type of a fine thread. Look at this. So just imagine if I put that thing there and then sold the machine, and the next guy is gonna be like, "Yo boss, there's a grease fitting here, I'm gonna put some grease in there as well." And that would be so evil. That would be so evil. But maybe I can use this thread. Just take that thing off. And now the hole is a lot smaller. It will nicely lock in there as well. But maybe we can put some type of a mesh material inside the hole. Yeah, that should work pretty good. It will let the fuel out, plus it's not gonna let any dirt inside because of that mesh. Oh man. Sageliidet kuidagi. Yeah, don't drop it. Man, screwing the thing on the table was a lot easier. I think I got it though. Yeah, whatever. I think I'm fine with that. By the way, guys, check it out. I added a breather gap on my fuel pump. It's having these small puffs, I guess. Maybe there's still a bit of air in the system somewhere, but it should nicely cycle it out. Actually, it feels like it's running pretty stable at the moment. Maybe these should fix now. I really hope so. What a monstrosity! Oh, are you done? Man. Whoa, what a mess, man. Addition to that mess, observe. Drove by my little wall and the vibration made it collapse. That is not very good. Oh man. Not again. Long may you live. Basically, see you again tomorrow. Actually, guys, it's not that bad. That would be the third collapse so far in maybe like, well, what, like 7 or 8 months or something like that. And the collapse has occurred on only 2 spots so far. So twice there. I'm no expert in rocks, so I'm not sure why. Maybe the bigger rock is too slippery for the smaller ones. And once here. But other than these 2 spots, not a single collapse anywhere in my walls. All of them have nicely, maybe lost like a couple of rocks here and there, but you know, so far 8 plus months, and they're still doing good. And my favorite part of the rock wall is actually this area. Every time I come out of the cabin, I am greeted with a 1 meter high rock wall. Yeah, I really like this area. Stupid wind, but it looks pretty good. Don't regret building these. But dude, I'm off topic again. Let's go assess the situation. So personally, I think the problem is fixed. Can't guarantee it just yet, but it looks very promising. Considering what we found in the old pump, the destroyed seals and that weird diaper. I mean the destroyed gears and that weird diaper of a seal. You know, if the problem is not fixed, then the next step would be, well, there's only like two possibilities left at this point. It's either leaking from there or from the fuel tower, and I guess the next step would be to remove the entire high pressure fuel pump itself and replace those seals, which are supposed, I think there's only one of them down there, but you know, it's not that easy of a job, because it's not just to like undo those nuts and the thing will just come off. It's actually, you have to also undo those covers. There's a bunch of mechanical connections there that you need to undo because this entire pump assembly is mechanical, so all the levers and stuff are connected. Basically, if this moves, then something inside there moves, so you need to undo those. Not as easy as not as straightforward as you would imagine. But as of right now, I'm not gonna dive into this thing. I'm gonna replace the engine oil again, and I guess we'll see in maybe like a couple of weeks, maybe months. If the engine oil starts climbing up again, then we need to continue searching for the issue. But definitely this was not pointless work, because the old pump was basically just garbage and did not work as intended. But as for this video, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Joseph appears to be back in action. Very good. So see you next time, guys. I promise I'm gonna make it. Bye. Look at that, man. That's like water. $15 liters of diesel. into 32 liters of oil. Dude, that's almost like 50% contamination. And the maximum critical allowance is like 5%. That's insane. Yeah, pane jah. Oh jaa, kurat, kõik. Anyone buy some Coca-Cola? It's still warm. There is something that I don't really understand. It's like when I'm adding new oil to the thing, it says that the engine takes about 32 plus minus 2 liters. So currently I'm at 31 liters at the moment, and the oil level is already showing over full. So I don't really understand that. It does have those two different oil bands under the engine. It's not like a single unit, so maybe it's not equal on both sides. There's more oil on the side where the dipstick is at, and the other side is lower. And once the engine starts running, it kind of settles the score, I guess, between the two oil bands. My guess is on that. But you know, when putting new oil in it, you just have to read how much you're boring in instead of looking at the dipstick, because that's false information. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering, it's about 110 euros to replace the oil in Joseph. Considering the size of this engine, a 16-liter diesel, that's basically nothing. But now I'm gonna go. Bye.